Ministry is hard, man.
Yes.
It's hard. So last week we started down this journey, another week into Love Illuminated, where the beauty and struggle of people not accepting our love out into the community.
Yep.
Isn't that so wild?
It really is.
It blows me away. So like today we go to Dunkin' Donuts. We got a bunch of gift cards.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to be nice and pay for people's coffee. We're not praying for people. We're not trying to invite them to church. We're just being nice. Here's some coffee. And somebody calls corporate on us because we got our Love Illuminated shirts on. Somebody calls corporate on us and we get kicked out of the store for buying people's coffee.
Yes, we did. We got through all 100 gift cards, though. So thanks, guys.
How nuts is that?
We literally were supposed to go back 2 more Wednesdays for like a midweek pickup. Customers loved it. We only had like, out of 100, we only had 3 that were like, no thanks, we're good. So I don't know.
So wild. I thought this was going to be the easiest one ever. Like, hey, we just go. When we were planning all of these events, we were trying to come up with some like ideas. And I was like, hey, let's just go to Dunkin' or let's, we had even talked about doing the thing online. Let's just go to Dunkin' and pay for people's coffee. Just have some nice interaction with people.
It has been so hard.
I remember when Dunkin' was right there the last time we tried this, when Dunkin' was right there next to the church, or Starbucks was right there next to the church. And they wouldn't let us. We were like, this was during COVID. And we said, can we stand out by the window and hand you our credit card for everybody that pulls by? And they were like, no. We're like, okay, can we stand out 3 cars back, hand them our credit card, let them pay whenever they get to the window? Yeah, like we're just trying to be nice to people.
So I totally thought that was a Starbucks thing. I would have never thought that Dunkin' would have done
Same
that.
way.
Like, I thought, oh, they're total opposites.
Yeah.
I was really shocked.
Store owner loved it. She was like, yes, come on. I love this. This is great. You guys are awesome. And fought corporate hard, and they still were like, nope.
Unbelievable.
And I don't know if it has to do with like, it's just the society we live in now. They can't believe, this is too good to be true.
Too good to be true.
We were offering free haircuts.
Free haircuts.
I told the guys, hey, let's go get a free haircut. And they looked at me with eyes kind of like I was picking them up in the van and taking them and going to charge them for every single, thing that they did. And they're like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm being for real. It's a free haircut and a warm meal, Yeah. And I had to almost pitch it hard.
So that was earlier this week. We just took our vans to a homeless, unsheltered, I think is what you call it. What is it? Our unsheltered friends. We took a van down to where a lot of our unsheltered friends stay. There's a big population of them there, and we said, hey, we're going to bring you to the church. We're going to feed you a meal. We're going to clean you up, give you a nice haircut. We had 6 or 7 barbers or stylists there ready to give haircuts and given of their day to come be a part of this. And even our unsheltered friends shocked that we would do something nice for them.
Yeah, they just couldn't believe it. I had this one guy, I asked him, he was sitting, on the bench, and I said, hey, man, you want a free haircut? And he almost like teared while I was asking him because I don't know if he felt some kind of pressure from me. I was like, it's just a free haircut. He's like, no, I'm okay. And I left. I invited a couple of other guys, got a couple more no's, and then saw the guy stand up, and he was looking at the van. I'm like, hey, I started waving him over. I was like, hey, come on. And he was just like shaking his head like, no. And I could just see the fear in his eyes. And all we were trying to do is love on them,
It's wild.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, for our community, that people think, what's going to happen if I say yes?
You want something from me.
Yeah.
You literally
Like,
can
that's so
see.
sad.
Yeah, like when we were at Dunkin', handing that, we're literally just saying, hey, let us buy you your next coffee. And you can see some of them, like, their hesitation in taking it, and they're processing, like, why are you doing this for me? And they go in and get their coffee, and then they come out, and they're like, thank you so much. Like, they've processed it, but it's, like, so strange for them to...
Or
like,
that
why are you doing this?
Somebody.
Yeah. We had Maddie and I got a text this morning from someone who set up another event for us that we had to cancel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So, and she was so thankful for what we were able to do, and even some of the people who were connected telling her how thankful they were for our church coming to do what we were able to do, but also very apologetic that she was like, this is a very dark place, and we're just trying to shine the light of Christ, and very disappointed that we couldn't do more. And it has blown me away.
Mm-hmm. You're constantly planning. Everything's good for like a week, and then they're like, nope.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Can't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, on to the next.
Poor Samantha.
This morning I was a little defeated, I'm not going to lie.
I saw you. So the Ring doorbell is connected to my phone. I saw you Saturday night at like 8:30 cleaning out vans for Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Like, what is Samantha doing at the church Saturday night cleaning out vans for Sunday morning?
It was the time that I had to do it.
Love Illuminated in full effect. I saw you Saturday morning out here, or Friday morning out here, with all of the balloons, creating, I'm assuming for the single mothers, Mother's Day events. Yeah, like it is this weird season that it has been eye-opening to me.
Same.
This weird season that we're in where everybody says the church ought to do more in the community, and then we try to do stuff in the community, and the community says, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shocking.
It really is. I thought it'd be a little bit easier.
I did too.
I mean, I know from doing my job on the day-to-day, like, it is difficult to build people's trust, and, that's why sometimes I hold on so tight to things before I let people go, because you work so hard to build up this relationship, and it takes one thing for them to be like, nope, we're done with you.
For sure.
So.
No, I don't know. Is it like fear of? I don't understand the fear of what it is. Like the manager, the person in charge there at New Directions, he came out and said thank you to us. The guys, you didn't really believe in it, but they were like, thank you so much for everything that you do, because the outreach team goes every Sunday to pick up the guys. And then another gentleman came out, said the same thing, we're thankful for that. But it's kind of strange that all these, well-established businesses don't want to see,
it's wild.
Not necessarily the love of God, because, it is the love of God, but it's just generosity in general, going out and supporting. And
it's so wild. It's so wild that, last week Olivia one of her days was booked up with going to paint. And, she came back talking about how that morning she wasn't feeling it, got into it.
I was just exhausted.
Got into it and found the benefit. This is a beautiful. Talk through that.
Yeah, I was not in the best mood, and I was like, man, this is going to be so much work. It's in the middle of my week. What if we don't have enough hands, and we're
all of the things.
And like, I have a background in construction, so when I got there and she was like, delegate, and I was like, oh, I've got this.
No
so
problem.
Instantly, I was like, this, and this, and then we knocked it out. But I love how God always sends, like, the perfect people that you need for stuff. Like, it always ends up like that. And Maddie said that, too. I was like, I love how he just shows up.
Yeah. So you walked away and you were like, that was worth it.
It was, and I also met 3 people that I had never met before.
Awesome.
Sydney, Erica, and a girl. She goes by Annie. And we had conversations while we were painting, and it was really fun to see everybody work with each other and talk through some things they were struggling with. One person was, trying to fit in, and she didn't really feel she hasn't found anybody to
our church. These are our church people. Yeah.
And she hadn't found anybody to really connect with. So it was really cool to be able to spend time with people that I wouldn't typically see ever.
This is the beauty of this month. Although Samantha is going to not look forward to this month next year.
I will. I'll just know what I'm getting into.
This is the beauty of this month, is you have a lot of people who are serving with people that they've never met before. Having interactions with people. Carson, who is 19 years old, was out there serving this morning with Nelson Seibel, who's 65 years old, and they're working together for the kingdom of God out there hand in hand. It's so beautiful.
I love it.
It's so beautiful, right? So it's the beauty of this month for our congregation is we get out there, we're the hands and feet of Jesus, we're helping people, we're making an impact, and there's nothing that we're doing. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the list. There's nothing that we're doing. I've seen the list, but I haven't seen the updates.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we're doing that is self-promoting. There's nothing that we're doing where we're trying to say, hey, look at what Palmetto Pointe Church is doing. All we're trying to do is help people.
Exactly.
Trying to show them some love.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So wild.
But the benefit of and I don't know the restrictions we have with this. So if you gotta cut this out, I guess you gotta cut it out. But like shout out to
No cuts.
Yeah, to Mrs. Charlie at Neptune's. Your barber.
Yeah.
He was here helping out. He's not part of our congregation, but he gave his time. He saw what was happening here. At the end of the day, he was the last man cutting, because people wanted specific, haircut. So he was the one that was cutting. So I just came up to him at the end and I was like, hey, just wanted to say thank you for your time. And he just poured out, his heart of how awesome it was to be part of something like this. And, even though we're not doing it for the promoting of Palmetto Pointe Church, they get to see, the true love of God through what we are.
This is who we are.
Doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is who we are.
Raw, genuine.
And we saw his wife and kid today at Dunkin'.
Nice.
Yeah. She was like, "Oh, my husband was just there," and I was like, "Had to be Charlie."
Exactly.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I've never met her, or the baby. Yeah, Charlie's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. The day we did the haircuts here, your wife and family members came, cooked this amazing meal for all of them.
So good.
So good, but had way too much left over because these guys wouldn't get on the bus with you come get a haircut.
Exactly, yeah.
We were cutting stylists to go home early because these guys wouldn't come get haircuts because they were afraid of what we were bringing them into.
Exactly. And it's like I said, it's hard to see, but at the end of the day, involving the family, I'm blessed. This event that we partook in, I was blessed to have their side on the cooking side.
Yeah.
My father-in-law helping me out, bringing the guys over because it's what he does every single Sunday.
Yeah.
But it's just an honor to be able to participate in something like this and be able to show that love to the guys. That is his heart. We hop in the van. You smell things, you see things, but that is the heart. We are out there to reach those lives that
Last
have been
Sunday,
forgotten.
there was a guy that we picked up that smelled very much like urine. Like he had peed himself.
Yeah, a couple of days of it, yeah.
And I saw Pastor Roberto pushing him around, showing him love, and I know it took my breath away when I got near him. So just to see him be so thoughtful from that, it's beautiful. All right, what God is doing in our church is really beautiful.
Yeah, and something I said to in the men's gathering is a lot of times, God has called us to be His hands and feet, and a lot of times we think this is it right here, being behind a mic,
Yep.
Being on a pulpit, but the reality is that we all can do it in moments like that, pushing somebody in a wheelchair, putting up with certain smells and of the sort, or just serving somebody a meal or giving your time. So that is something that we believe in. It is something that is
And
practiced
the beauty
here.
of it, beauty of Love Illuminated is it's not just about unsheltered friends.
Mm-hmm.
This is about, we just want to put a smile on your face when you're coming through Duncan. We want to go to the hospital and give these treats to the nurses. We want to go to schools and feed the teachers. We just want to put a smile on your face to show you how much we love you.
Yeah.
And we want to go to J. Reuben and spend time with you to show you how much we love you. Like, there's the weird concept of the church, and I think God has protected this particular church from the outside, I laugh about it, but realistically, this is the only church you've ever been established in.
Yeah, it is.
This is the only church you've ever been established. This is the only church y'all know, right?
Yeah.
You know other churches, but this is the only church you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our leadership around here, that's the way we are. Like this is the only church I mean, I grew up in my dad's church, been to a few churches,
Right.
but this is the church I know. And all of our leadership is that way. And so sometimes we are protected from some of the impurities out there in the world of, hey, I'm going to do this, but then I'm going to come back and ask for you to do all of this. And so they're hesitant about serving with churches or working with churches because they know churches aren't afraid to ask for money or donations or whatever it may be. And then to tell a church no is really hard. And so they're like, I would just rather not have this relationship than to have a relationship with you that one day I have to tell you no, and then I look like a bad guy because I'm telling the church no.
That's what I was literally going to say earlier. It's almost like people are scared to even build relationships anymore in the community, because it's almost like they're like, oh, we don't need you. Almost, I feel like it kind of fades because nobody wants to put the effort or work in and do what Samantha's doing, and because it is a lot of work. It's hard.
A lot of work.
Yeah, you have to get out of your own way and that's literally what we're called to do. And I was so busy about my schedule during the day, and then I got there and I was like, this is what we do.
That's right. This is what we do.
That doesn't even matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you have to come in on Friday, which you did, do whatever to finish up, you do it because this is what we do.
Yeah.
People is what we do. And so often we get off track and we lose focus and we miss out. And I think sometimes when we do that, having months like this to get us back on track and back refocused is very vital to the health of our church. I was in a conference this past week, and the guy said, he was talking about budgets, and he said, whenever your budget per, I'm going to read it so I don't misquote it. But he said, whenever your budget, where's it at? Here it is. When your giving per unit is high, you need to increase evangelism. When your giving per unit is low, you need to increase discipleship. And I thought, man, that's so beautiful.
That's good.
It's this constant battle of when that means we're a really churched place when our giving per unit is high. That means we better be reminded that we got to go out and win the lost.
Yeah.
But when the giving per unit is low, that means we've went out and won the lost. Somebody's got to do some discipleship to raise these people up, to learn how to grow and be in the kingdom of God. And so this beauty of this constant tension of we have to pastor, we have to teach, we have to shepherd, we have to go out, we have to do all of these things almost simultaneously to create what is a healthy, beautiful church.
Yeah, and it goes to the vision of the church. We're gonna love extravagantly and serve faithfully.
That's right.
And in my 20 plus years of being in church, serving God, this month I have been the most involved in community, sharing God's love like this, and in the entire time. And it brings me back to one of the quotes from Lead Like It Matters, where it says, Jesus came for outsiders.
Yeah.
So we have to, our mission is to go and get the ones that are lost. And a lot of times we're focused on the ones that are in-house already,
The event that I was at, the guy said, it was this really rich guy, and he was talking about donor, I forgot the exact conversation, the exact talk he was doing. He was talking about basically, like, hey, if people give money to your church, care for them. You should send them a thank you card, whatever, that sort of thing. But anyways, as he was talking, he said, whenever God blesses your ministry financially, that's when you focus on the poor even more, because it keeps your integrity intact whenever you're focusing on the poor even more, because God's blessing you financially so that you can, anyways, it's a beautiful concept of what I think God is doing here inside of our church.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, event this past week. What something stood out to you this past week?
Oh man.
Did we go back and cheer for Miracle League?
We did. We went back and cheered for Miracle League.
It was awesome.
They loved it. They were like, can we please have you back in the fall? Can you guys get connected? So we're gonna do it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get connected. Yeah, it was really cool. We just like stood in a row and made like a little tunnel. So as people came in, we just handed them goodies and cheered for everybody in and out.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that one was fun. The haircuts was awesome. New Directions Women's Meal, we do that every single month, but this time we had some different leadership step in and some new faces step in, and it was a beautiful time. And then Duncan, even though we got kicked out, I loved it. It was cool.
So we have 2 more opportunities for that. Are we going to try to find a different place to go, or we
Yes. So we got a yes from Starbucks, which was super surprising.
Wow.
But I'm like, okay, cool. We're gonna try to reach out to Chick-fil-A again. We haven't had a lot of success with them yet, but yeah, so we'll see.
It is so strange.
What? Starbucks said yes.
Starbucks said yes, and I just went, thank you, God.
So strange.
I don't understand.
You think Chick-fil-A's a go green light
But
automatically?
it's always, we love this idea here in this store,
Mm.
but we have to go through corporate. We have to go through
And I
the red
get,
tape of the higher ups.
I get, they don't know us.
Mhm.
Corporate doesn't know us.
Yeah.
Right.
They have no clue that all we're trying to do is be nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they're like, oh, you got to look out for these 7 steps following this because something's not going to go well inside of this.
Yeah, one of the volunteers at Dunkin' just jokingly said, yeah, we'll hand them the gift card and then we'll pull out this form that they have to sign to serve and become a member of the church and do this. And he's like, he was just making a joke of it because
But he wasn't joking, I'm sure.
Yeah.
he was joking. But that's because that's what people think. Like, that's what's attached to this gift that we're trying to give you.
So wild. It's so wild.
You're like, hey, I'm giving people business for you.
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. It's not
I'm
like,
saving them $5 right now so that they can spend $5 tomorrow with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, well, we can just buy gift cards and go stand out in the street
Yeah.
and give them out across the street from the Dunkin'.
You should give them to the employees that work there.
We
It'd
are
be funny.
we are gonna go probably give them some cake pops or something. I talked to Kimberly
Oh, good.
for like just the businesses
Because they
that,
probably already get free coffee.
yeah, just the businesses that we've been working with, just to say thank you again for letting us do it.
So wild.
Mhm.
So interesting. What have we learned from events that we've done? What's something that you walk away from and you go, I now know this, or I've learned this, or I feel better about this, or more confident about this? What's something that God's kind of stirred in you this week as you've served somewhere?
I was a little hesitant leading the event Miss Samantha allowed me to, because like I said, I had half of the volunteers were my family.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, the language barrier and all this, it may get a little mumbo jumbled. And then we're like, what about the menu? Because you obviously have the traditional Mexican culture that you're gonna usually do, but we're like, well, we got to think about the people that we're gonna be serving. So menu changes and all that. So I really learned when it's God's will and we're doing it for God, there is no boundary
Amen.
that we cannot overcome. I saw cohesiveness between the kitchen and the people that were serving, the volunteers that were serving, and they were messaging me, hey, tell the ladies. Some of them didn't know they were my family. They tell the ladies it was amazing. We appreciated all their help. It was delicious. And I'm like, Lord, forgive me for, trying to put you in a box of a language barrier.
Love it.
That's awesome.
How about you?
I totally agree. I was really overwhelmed and stressed because I was like, the same stuff earlier. I said, we're not going to have enough people. But I think I just relied on myself more than God to even handle all of the situations. And everybody stepped in. And I just told myself, you know what? I don't even know why I was worried about any of it. It was a great day.
Yeah.
And it was such a good day. It was so much fun.
Yeah, God's really shown his faithfulness to me. Like, I know that God's faithful, but then you get in these moments of like constantly doors shutting or having to reschedule things, or leaders that were going to lead, they're like, life happens and so they can't lead anymore. But God has been so faithful to just send, like Olivia said, the exact amount of people, the skill sets we need. He's opened the doors at the right times for us to go, okay, we can get this on the calendar and get people involved. And I think our church really needed this. I think there were people that in our church that probably just needed, I mean, we have an open door all the time here to serve and to get connected, but I think this was just an extra push for a lot of people because we've seen a lot of new faces, and that was one of my hopes going into this was, okay, I want to meet new people and then get them connected, like keep them close, get them connected, and then hopefully they have seen the beauty and the benefit in what we're doing and want to stay connected.
We've talked about some of the events that we've done previously, and if we're not careful, they become stale or almost maybe stale to the congregation to where I've tried that. That wasn't interesting to me, so there's no reason for me to go try it again. Or a buddy saying, I went there, it wasn't, whatever the event was. And I think months like this create a buzz about what could be now regular type events like the Miracle League or I don't know what else.
Charlie wants to do haircuts more often.
Right.
We could do that quarterly.
These sort of things that could be, scheduled type events rather than just the month. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful part of it is that people are allowing, this is a test month where people are telling you with their butts by showing up, but also verbally of, this one actually is valuable. I actually like this one. Yeah. This is something I want to be a part of. And, all the people that showed up for haircuts is amazing. And, they'll show up once. How many will show up the second time? And, how many people will show up another time to come, fix and paint? And how many people show up another time to go cut somebody's grass? And how many people show up? And so as you're walking through these events, getting the feedback from them of, hey, this is actually something that I really enjoy and want to be a part of, to which then, some of the battles of how do you grow this area of ministry? It's because there's people that are passionate out there that, you can become that facilitator for them of, hey, I've built this relationship. Now you take it and cultivate it. Yeah. And that's beautiful, super beautiful. Anything upcoming that you're like, man, I'm so excited about this?
I had to bring notes because I have so many things swirling in my brain. So
how many times have you cried this month?
I think just twice. Okay,
good.
We're like,
that's good.
Halfway through the month, so like once a week.
It's not bad.
Break it down.
Not bad at all.
No, it's not. It's not bad. Sometimes you just need a good cry when you get a door shut in your face and you're like, why won't you just let me love on your people? But
how many times have you cried this week?
Listen, I knew.
I got 3 texts yesterday. Olivia's not in a good mood. I was like,
I only cry when I get really frustrated.
Okay, sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah. I bottle it up until it's like. And then
Urban, how many times have you cried this week?
0.
No, good.
Yeah, I got.
I knew I was.
I cried once this week. I got frustrated over something so little, but it was like that one, just like one more thing on top of like the stress already, and it just broke me, and I was like, this is stupid. Why I'm crying.
True story. That the day we were doing the haircuts, on one of my trips, the van ran out of gas, so I was on empty. I was gonna call her and say, hey, van's on empty. Do I just go, pump gas? Do I swap vans? What do you want me to do? As I was getting my my card from my office, you both are in the hallway. I hear her. I'm like, yeah, don't ask her anything right now. Just go grab your card. You can fix this.
Figure it out, Urban.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
I got it.
Oh man.
So anything exciting coming up?
Yes, we're going to local fire and police stations to bring them treats.
Awesome.
Which I'm excited about because we have the Kramer boys are coming and they're super passionate about that. But then I met a new guy that used to be a firefighter and he gets to be involved in it.
Super
Him
cool.
and his wife have been like really eager to serve. Nice. She donated some of the treats that we took to Conway Medical Center and was like in tears dropping it off because her parents retired from there. So this was super meaningful for her.
Super cool.
Yeah, we're going all month. We're collecting for the cancer centers in the area and then Help for Kids. So we're bringing all of those donations to them at the end of the month.
So if somebody wants to help out and obviously we don't want everybody reaching out to Samantha, but if somebody wants to help out, they're going to the app. The app's updated where it has all the things where they're go to the app. It has a little thing at the bottom that says Love Illuminated.
Yep.
And if you're watching this months from now and you're like, man, I missed this month, then email info@palmettopointechurch.com. We'll get you connected to an outreach event because being in the community matters. And listen, here goes what I'm more determined. After this month where we have been rejected, I am even more determined that we're going to be a church that the community loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Other churches may, whatever. We're not going to be that church. We're going to be a church that you love. And when corporate tells you no, you say, nah, this church is different.
Mhm.
This you may say no to other churches, not this church. This church is different.
Yeah. That's how I felt after I cried.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, I cried and got my, the fleshly stuff out. And then I was like, okay, God, you've been so faithful. And now I'm more determined
Amen.
to just show people who we are.
Amen.
Because we are different.
We're different.
We are.
Yeah, we're a different breed.
Very different.
Very thankful.
And this is happening in multiple places, not just here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Southern Illinois got it going.
Yeah, Southern Illinois, Clemson, Aynor this week. Yeah, every campus is doing something. Socastee, every campus is doing something every single week, and it's been so beautiful. It really has been so beautiful watching the body of Christ be active in the community. That is a staple of what we have to be.
Mhm.
We have to be active in the community. We have to be a church of prayer. There's certain things that we have to be. This is one of those things. We have to be active in our community in some form or fashion.
Agreed.
Doesn't mean we have to go to Dunkin' Donuts or feed the homeless or whatever. Like, there's a lot of things that doesn't mean we have to do these things, but we have to be active in our community.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like inside of your context, you watching this right now, whatever that means inside of your context, go get in the community. It's important. It's vital. So,
Yes.
thanks for hanging out. Love y'all. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.